Hey, this is Simon from the Bracketeer at South OC Cars and Coffee, and if you look behind me, you will see a Jeep invasion. Yeah, that's right, we've got nearly 100 Jeep here this morning, all out on a cruise. So let's swing the camera around and have a look at the great turnout we've got here this morning. So we've got a great turnout this morning, particularly given it's a bit drizzly out here, but great turnout of vehicles, especially all of these Jeeps. So let's go for a bit of a walk and see what we've got here. So just moving along through here.
Jack, come here.
Some great looking stuff. Rebel off-road guys. We got Jeffrey's Reptilicon, which is always cool and good to see. Got some new wheels and a new grille on this thing as well, which looks kind of cool. Next to it, this awesome Rebel, which we've looked at before, running an LS3 GM engine in that thing. Just serious suspension, massive wheels. Looks great. You know, it's funny, if you saw the one next to it on the street, you go, man, that thing's big and lifted, and then look next to this thing, just absolutely overshadows it. Very cool. Moving along, great to see so many WKs, I think the model is from memory. All these Jeeps, all this great suspension work, some a bit of a modern camo wrap on that one. Some interesting hoods, and then this one really practical. It's got the jack on the hood of it, and then spotlights and some mean looking grills. Really great to see. It's so good to get these clubs coming along supporting South OC Cars and Coffee. We are very much about not being an elitist group or not trying to single out any particular make or model of car. It's just great to see such a variety. So if you're part of a car club and you want to reach out and bring the club along, or you've got a group of cars and friends that you want to bring them together, just reach out to us either via the Facebook website contact, or even just email me at simon@thebracketeer.com. and be happy to try and put all the vehicles together. More of them over this side as we walk through here. Great turnout. There really hasn't been another vehicle that's got so much commitment from the customizers. People just love getting hold of these things and you know, changing them. And then over to this side, we're just going to jump through. Love this grey. Really good looking colour. Another one with a Rebel sticker on the side of it. Really good worn winch on it. Another one through here. And they go on and on and on. So very, very cool. Great range of Jeeps. Some tough looking grills. If you've ever been to the SEMA show out in Vegas, which of course is the holy grail of customizers, there is always a lot of stuff for Jeep. It's a whole area dedicated to it. Okay, swinging back to the other side.
Howdy, hi there, neighbors.
We've got Robert Landry making a goose of himself. Robert's our photographer over here in a hopping into a Rolls Royce. Robert, I do see you in the front and not in the back, and that's okay, because you've got to drive Miss Daisy over here around. Daryl.
Big old Daryl, come on in.
Yeah, there we go. So Ferrari next to a very beautiful looking brand new Rolls Royce. Tony drove in this thing this morning. Wow, it's just really, really cool. Look at this. Look at this.
Look at the cylinder.
Look at, Robert just said, look at this. Oh my goodness. Look, check this out. It's got a starry ceiling. Thanks for pointing that out, Robert. That is insane. That is absolutely, look at the interior in this thing. That's crazy. All of a sudden my Camaro is feeling a little bit tractor-ish.
Wait a minute.
So, and while I've got Robert here, I was giving him a hard time, but this is one of the two people who do all of the great job of our photography. So when you see good photos, this is one of the two men that do it.
Thank you very much.
So he is greatly appreciated, and every week we get people thanking us for the great photos, and that's through the Robert and Jay doing that. So thank you, brother. You're greatly appreciated. Another Rolls Royce, another Bentley, Gary's McLaren. Really nice, cute little 911 Porsche next to a 914. Another Porsche as well. Next to another one here. GT3. Nice, beautiful little Targa. 442. Oh, look at that Goldwing Mercedes just coming in here. Wow. Next to a two-door. Good morning. Next to a two-door XJS. That's not something you see very often. Lots of four-door XJS, but not very many two-doors. That's very cool. LS1 on it, so obviously they did the smart move of removing that old Jaguar inline 6, which was a costly thing to work on, and put a LS motor in it. Really nice 280 Mercedes. Check the interior out in this thing. full of beautiful walnut burr and that. And then behind it, the car that Enzo Ferrari called the most beautiful car in the world, E-Type Jag. So as we move along, we've got the Safari sitting here, great looking 57 Pontiac Star Chief. Next to it a Hellcat Charger, a Challenger truck with a F250 with a little bit of a lift kit on it, a little bit, Corvette, little Volkswagen, Studebaker, how cool, love the red roof on it, Corvette, and for sale, little Saturn, a Z06. Now this is kind of cool, look at this BMW coming in here. This was the model with the rectangle headlights, rectangle tail lights, the 2000 series. Great little car, amazing engineering. Couple of, good morning gentlemen, couple of cool Corvettes, Mustang. Good morning guys, welcome. Porsche, a Falcon, and another one, Corvette, Porsche, Jaguar, Mustang, another Mustang, this one running 351, and then another Mustang there. We'll just scoot up this side because we missed this. Beautiful 57 Chev pulling out there, sounding pretty healthy. A really nice Pantera, really nice green. Jay's Ford GT, don't know what that little thing is doing there. A Mustang again, Corvette, and then the 65 Riviera, and then another Corvette. Really nice looking 31 Ford running a 32 grill, and look at that beautiful looking Hemi running a wind. No, little field blower on this one. What? Such a great looking stance on that. I mean, that thing looks so intimidating coming down the road at you. How cool. How cool. Next to it, a brand new McLaren 720S, one of the fastest cars on the road at the moment. This one in that beautiful papaya orange that McLaren call it. Really nice detail in the interior as well. Great looking car. I really love that. I love all the 720Ss. I particularly like this papaya, and there's a blue that they do it in as well that I'm a really big fan of. Okay, moving over here, we've got a really nice little Caterham running a Cosworth engine.
God bless the Queen.
God bless the Queen, and the new Princess as well.
Yes.
Cobra and a couple of little Miatas. Evo and a Thunderbird sitting here actually for sale, and then a little interesting hybrid 5.3 in this thing. That's interesting. Somebody's done a transplant of that. Okay, let's jump across and start doing some other lanes across here. So I'm sort of zigzagging my way around this morning to get all the Jeeps in together. Great looking Yanko Nova. Love this car. Really nice looking, running that big block in there, 427. Great looking thing, really cool. Next to it, a 1967 RS Camaro. Of course, 67, you can tell by the fact that it's got side windows. And the other telltale sign, if it was authentic, is the 67 came out and those doors on the front were actually electrically operated. And they had trouble in cold climates with the motors freezing, or the mechanism freezing and burning out the motors. So in 68, they went to a vacuum system. But of course, then the bellows go on the vacuum system and the actuators. So now the people convert them back to electric. Porsche, Beetle, little Austin Healey. I'm going to show you something about this one. So the owner of this car the other day came up to me and asked about the bracketeer. I had no idea whether we would be able to fit the bracketeer into this particular vehicle, and yet if we look down here, there it is. We've been able to clamp the bracketeer mechanism down onto the back of the seat buckets on this particular vehicle to mount a fire extinguisher neatly behind the seat of this beautiful little Austin Healey. So one of our fire extinguisher brackets from the bracketeer installed in this beautiful little Austin Healey, which is great. Next to it, a Mustang. This is gorgeous. This is a very early, before they were called a Defender actually, but one of the ways you can tell that's the early one is the headlights are actually on the inside, not out on the front. And their theory behind doing it was smart. It was the fact that if you put a headlight out here, you're actually exposing it to being damaged or beaten if it's actually driving out in the scrub and off-road. So the early ones all had the headlights close together like this, running that little inline 4-cylinder engine. And from memory, one of the things that these things would do is they'd actually end up winding up the diff in these things, and the only way you could unwind the load off the diff was to drive them backwards down the road. This is a real survivor. Look at that interior. That's insane. How cool. So you've got individual electric motors on the windscreen wipers, which is kind of cool. Right-hand drive, the way it was intended, and particularly appropriate on the day of the royal wedding. What a great old vehicle. I don't know what year this would be. If I was going to guess, I would say early 60s, yeah, probably early 60s. I'm trying to see a compliance plate on it somewhere, but I can't. How cool. Great looking old vehicle. And you know, they didn't change them for so many years. I mean, the door handles were the same, the door hinges were a little bit different. One of the things I liked about these old ones, they used to put this double roof on it. See that air gap across the roof? The idea behind that was there's no air conditioning in those days, so you'd actually have the sun would be hitting on this, the top section. So the sun would be hitting on this, but then the air would be moving underneath, so you'd actually get some natural air conditioning out of it as well. Okay, on to a couple of Baja bugs that we've got here. One driving at us, we can hear there. Really nice looking GT3 RS. I love this lava orange, such a great looking colour. Titanium wheels, running carbon brakes on the GT3 RS, you can tell because the yellow calipers. Actually, I'm wrong, this one's got red calipers that's running carbon brakes, so that's nice. That's GT3 as well. Miata, Porsche 914, a great looking Challenger, classic Challenger there. Prius, we'll skip right past that. This is really cute, check this out. Wow, this is awesome. That's a nice looking little car. Little Triumph. GT6. Little hardtop, tiny little car. So, thanks for coming, guys.
Thank you for having us.
And so we're moving down through here. Beautiful Goldwing Mercedes. Check that out. Such a great looking vehicle. Just love these Goldwings. Of course, we talked about this before. The actual steering wheel actually pivots and tips down underneath, so you can get in and out of it. Because of course, it'd be pretty difficult to get your legs down underneath that. They made metal bodied, and the real rare ones are actually aluminum, or as we English speaking people or Australian people would say, aluminium. The real good ones have actually got the luggage that came with them in the back, which is kind of cool. We saw this before, that little XJ6 Jaguar two-door Corvette, great looking Ford truck. Porsche, Mitsubishi M4, obviously running some air ride at that height. Carrera, GTO,
Everything good?
Porsche, Corvette, Citroen 1954, a little Volkswagen minibus, not really a minibus, a F100 for sale, 57, a 55 Chevy, guess it's a Nomad being a two-door like that. Got some Mustangs lined up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, beautiful looking little Morgan, a Gen 5 Camaro. This is kind of cool. 65 Malibu, got some bright orange wheels on it, which is kind of different. Next to it, a 55 convertible next to another 55. How great to see two of these side by side together in that colour. WRX. And then as we move through here, we've got a nice little Audi. I heard that probably sounded good. A great looking little Porsche GT4. Love that red colour. Really think it suits it well. Over to a Cobra replica Land Cruiser FJ40, running a. I don't think this is running the original motor in this car. 350. No, it's running a small block Chevrolet. So next to it a 68 Camaro. Up here to a old Ford Falcon. We had exactly those cars in Australia. Mustang. Really nice green. Then onto a row of Aussie-built cars. We got a Pontiac G8, which was a VE Commodore. Then the row of the new Chevy SSs, which of course were the VF Holden Commodore. So Dane's running this LSX, and then next to it the LSA as we go through the line. So very cool. These guys were just giving me these guys were just saying to me that I had to make a comment about the Dane's wheel caps being.
Oh, God.
Well, should come over here.
We got 2 correct and 1 incorrect.
So down here, what they're saying is on the front of Dane's car, we'll see that. Oh, my camera's going a bit. We've got a Holden badge. We have a Holden badge. And Exhibit A, as James is going to point out, on the wheels.
For some reason, we have a Chevy badge.
So he's left the Chevy badge.
But he blacked it out and it looks worse.
So, and the moral of the story is that Dane half does everything.
You haven't even seen the steering wheel yet.
Well, so let me get the camera. So is there anything you'd like to say for yourself, Dane?
I'm sorry, Mom.
Yeah. I don't know what to say.
Listen, you're really good at barbecue, but you suck at doing cars. That's all we'll say. We love you, brother. Thanks for coming, guys. It's great to see you here. Great lineup of the old Holdens along here. Pontiacs, of course, but they'll always be Holdens to me. Porsche Focus ST. GTR 35. This beautiful looking Mercedes we saw Paul in before. And that great looking gold colour. Got a Ferrari pulling out here. I think it's a Testarossa, I could be wrong. Let's have a look. Yep, Testarossa. Here's that little 914. Great looking 34 hot rod. Down here we've got an S2000 next to a little Fiat. We've got a Mustang driving out and a Corvette leaving us. Little 124 Porsche over there. And then over to a couple of great looking Broncos. So appropriate for bringing back the Bronco when OJ Simpson gets out of jail. So Hellcat RS Focus, love that colour. Love the fact that they've actually colour coded the wheels. The Brembo brakes, sorry, not the wheels. Brembo brakes, the same colour. Dodge Demon, of course, the car that Dodge released to break the record of 0 to 60. Mind you, none of the magazines have managed to do it yet. Mustang, Mercedes, Volkswagen, Lexus, Mustang. Talk about wide body. I've got to get a shot of this. This thing pulled in. Can anybody say wide body kit? This thing's incredible. Huge, huge, huge tyres on the back of it. 345s. It's insane. Thank you. Another GTR 35. Another one. Another Hellcat. Got a WRX pulling out there. Porsche. Beautiful Land Rover Defender. Such a great vehicle. Nicely done.
Did you see that 64 over there?
Yeah, I did. 64 was it? I wondered what year it was.
The 109.
And what's the quickest way to tell the difference between an old one and a new one? Is where the headlights are, isn't it?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
And there was logic behind why they put the headlights there. It was because they weren't out the front where they could get damaged when you're pushing your way through the bush.
That's how it was.
Yep, exactly. Range Rover, a Maserati, a Subaru BRZ, nice little Lotus, great looking Plymouth here, huge looking car, and the Chevy truck, another Chevy truck, nice small block in that, little Z car. As we go down through here, we've got a one of the RX-7s from the mid to late 80s. Morning, gentlemen. Little Subaru Mazda, the later RX-7. Another little Z car there. Really nice looking 928S Porsche. Of course, that was the V8 and front engine car that they did. It was one of the, I think it was the first car they did from the late 70s. From memory, I think they started in about 76 with the 928. I could be wrong. Another Porsche there. Another Subaru. A little Carrera convertible, Lexus, Mustang, Infiniti. It's Ford truck driving leaving us now. Got a couple of more Jeeps over here. Good to see their wheels dirty. And then a bone stocked Jeep here. Looks almost brand spanking new. Yep, it is. ST Focus, a BMW, another BMW. It's a really nice little Alfa Romeo here, all kitted out for racing. Got a good lineup of gauges up there in those carbon fibre pods. Really nice looking little car. a couple of Lexus. I think these were also badges, Toyota Sauras from memory. Scion FRS, Toyota 86, Golf, a BMW with some serious bolt-on wide body kit and spoiler on the back of it. Mercedes. And as we move along, got a Subaru, Roush, Mustang, little Datsun 240 or 260Z, little headlight covers they made for those. STI, Subaru, BMW, a 370Z, Nissan, sold in some countries as a Fairlady, I think it was. In other countries it was a I'm just trying to think, 240 something or other. BMW, little, I think it's, let's have a look, Toyota up here. Yeah, little Toyota, yep. And then as we move down through this lane, last lane we've got line up for some classic Mercedes along here. One was a wagon, which is great to see. Subaru, BMW, M3 in that great yellow. They came out in another BMW, same era. Of course, they had that excellent inline 6, which was a real, classic engine for those days. Beautiful engine. And they went to a V8. Now they've gone back to a V6, I believe. Another BMW, well, original old Volkswagen. How cool is it to see this thing? It looks like a little survivor car. Honda, Gen 5, Camaro, Corvette, Mustang, Infiniti, another BMW here, and another Corvette, Tiguan, another little bit Volkswagen here, very cool. And last few cars, we've got a Challenger, 3 of them in a row actually. This one running halo headlights, and then RX-8, which was the last production car to use the rotary engine from Mazda. Little AMG, which is a nice little car, Scion FRS, and then last but not least, a Focus ST. Now onto the motorcycles, we've got a BMW, Harley Davidson, Aprilia, Husqvarna. I'm a big fan of Husqvarna motorcycles, really great product. BMW, and I believe Husqvarna's now owned by KTM, or vice versa, one of the two. BMW, and then Harley Davidson. Love the grey of this one. So, and then another one pulling in right here. So that's our motorcycles for the week. So we often talk about how wide-reaching South OC Cars and Coffee is. Next to me is a gentleman by the name of John, and he came up to me today and he said, "Do I look familiar? And do you know me?" And I thought, you know what, his face rings a bell. And he goes, "I'm John. I was your taxi driver in London in the beginning of the year." So John's come all the way from the UK to get away from the royal wedding.
Absolutely.
Which happened today. But it just goes to show how wide-reaching the event is. So John, what was your favourite car today?
Well, I'm a bit of a Mustang man myself. So
Oh yeah, okay.
I quite like the Mustangs, so I've been watching them and having a look at them.
Yeah, there's plenty of those, isn't there? And it's a different car scene from what it is in the UK, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So, but we did get drizzly weather. We tried to make you feel at home.
Can't have it all.
So, John, I appreciate you coming out. I certainly appreciate you coming to our show and finding me. But I just love how wide-reaching this event is.
No problem at all. It's been brilliant.
Excellent. So that's it for another week at South OC Cars and Coffee. I want to thank Jeffrey for organising the Jeeps and letting us know what's going on. And all these guys behind me who brought their Jeeps, great turnout. Thanks for joining us. To everybody else who brought their cars out, great to see you here. Great turnout, particularly given the weather. Big thank you, of course, to the outlets for letting us be here, and of course to Ruby's for bringing out the coffee and the donuts. We'll see you back here next week for another South OC Cars and Coffee.